As I mentioned in a previous video, there's a lot of people who are either self-labeled or labeled by the general public as financial advisors, yet at the same time have very different roles in the capital markets and in the investment management industry. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the types of advisors and how you can differentiate between them. The first one I'm going to talk about are wealth managers. A wealth manager is somebody whose primary role is to manage the funds of affluent clients. So if you have $1 million nest egg and you want a professional person to manage it for you in a customized way, you can go to a wealth manager. But like a financial advisor, a wealth manager is a very broad umbrella too. A wealth manager really just can apply to anybody who's in the money management industry that works with individual clients versus institutional investors. So that, again, that could range toward from a more multi-product approach or to just a pure asset manager. And so I'm going to differentiate that. There are general wealth managers, I call them wirehouse advisors, where they generally work for a big bank and they provide not just wealth management, but they also will provide ancillary financial services such as insurance and planning and put it all together in one big package with usually a fee of a little bit over 1%. Independent practitioners offer these kind of all-in-one packages too. And within these firms, often the investment side of that wealth management, but not always, there's some who do it themselves, is outsourced to an investment management team in their corporate headquarters of the bank or the financial institution that is operating this wealth management firm, so that the local advisors can focus on asset gathering and relationship management. Then asset manager, on the other hand, is somebody who is more focused solely on managing assets. An asset manager usually doesn't do financial planning, or it's a very minimal part of their business. They do not offer insurance or tax help or some of the ancillary financial services that a more broad-based wealth manager would. And usually somebody would use an asset manager as if they have other professionals who can handle those other things, or their wealth is high enough of a level that they don't really need to be concerned about financial planning. And so they want just somebody who's more competent and specialized solely in getting better returns given the client's goals. That's the main difference I would say between an asset manager and a wealth manager. Yet an asset manager also is a wealth manager if they're dealing with private clients. And there are asset managers such as the big mutual fund companies and hedge funds who primarily either just serve institutional investors, or they have their entry through mutual funds or ETFs and are bought that way. But either way, whether they're entered through a mutual fund or ETF or serve only institutional clients, those institutional asset managers do not directly work with clients or talk to clients quarterly or provide customized separate managed accounts like a wealth manager would. So I know it sounds kind of confusing, but there are asset managers who are not wealth managers and wealth managers who are asset managers, but that's kind of the differences. The outside of that, within that, there's also the independent registered investment advisors. And a registered investment advisor is a state or SEC registered firm that can legally take a fee for managing assets. And they are oftentimes as well a fiduciary. And a fiduciary is a RIA who has a higher legal standard for behavior, whereas a wealth manager affiliated with a wirehouse brokerage may be more have the standard of just putting clients in suitable investments. The fiduciary has a standard to work in the best interest of the clients and not have any inherent conflict of interests. The most common conflict of interest really would be that a wealth manager or an advisor is being paid a commission to sell a particular financial product or a specific investment, whereas a fiduciary investment advisor only has a flat fee that they pay or charge annually on the assets, and they do not take any extra kickbacks or commissions or anything like that. So that's what differentiates a fiduciary RIA from a wealth manager who is affiliated with a brokerage firm or is not a fiduciary. And then the next one is financial planners. A financial planner is somebody whose focus is more on helping individuals manage their finances more than the investing the funds. They tend to work more with upperly mobile or middle class people who have a harder time with budgeting, planning for retirement, saving for college, and doing the math for the needs of retirement and other financial goals, and figuring out how to work with based on a client's income and previous assets and spending patterns to build a plan to help them achieve their goals. It's a lot more relationship focused. It's a lot more building custom solutions on how to build the wealth versus managing existing wealth that wealth managers are focused on. You can be both a financial planner and a wealth and asset manager, but oftentimes people tend to specialize in their practices more towards one direction or the other. And then you will have private bankers, which are basically wealth managers, but deal with only high net worth and ultra high net worth clients. Like a private banker minimums at a big wirehouse is generally 10 million plus in assets. And these private bankers often bundle in more higher end services that are more needed for their clients, such as legal tax deferral strategies, estate planning, and access to alternative investments that lower net worth individuals may not qualify for. And it's just and it has just more like white glove level of service, and has a smaller amount of clients. Like, as I talked about in my video about family offices, a private banker is basically kind of the equivalent of a multi-family office. I'm not really sure where the line crossed where a multi-family office, how many families they take on before they become a conventional private banker or private wealth manager. But that's kind of the term. The other thing with private bankers sometimes too is they have closer relationships with the commercial lending side of things and can help facilitate those type of transactions, such as borrowing against a concentrated stock position and living off of those borrowed funds instead of selling the proceeds and collecting a capital gain. That's kind of another example of a private banker type of service. And then there's estate planners. Estate planners are often attorneys, but they don't necessarily need to be, but they help construct people's wills and other needs for trusts and other needs for estates, that when their clients pass away and their inheritors inherit those assets, it's done in a way that is tax efficient and as smooth as possible. I also hear some of CPAs and accountants be classified as financial advisors, and their main role is just to help individuals with their tax needs. And then the last type of people who I'd say classify themselves as advisors are insurance providers, usually life insurance providers. In some niche cases, there is an investment case for using life insurance, but that's a whole nother topic that I'm not going to really get into because insurance is not my professional background. So there is some connection to the investment world, but generally the insurance providers focus more on what sides of a client's wealth and savings needs involve needing insurance. And again, it differs on the person to person. And a lot of these insurance providers are also financial planners because insurance is often part of a person's financial plan. So those kind of dovetail well, and they're both more relationship focused, less quantitative, analytical investment focused type roles compared to an asset manager. It's more common to see a financial planner providing insurance than a financial planner who's linked up with an institutional asset manager. So overall, that summarizes all the people who can be classified as financial advisors. There probably are others that I'm missing, and if you'd like to know more about those, feel free to ask me in the comments. But I think I've given my viewers a general idea of what's the difference between a wealth manager and a financial planner and an asset manager and the other types of people who generally fall under the category of being an advisor. Feel free to like, share, subscribe. Any support for the channel helps us grow. And if you want more of this content, please help get it out there. Thanks for watching.